lot of years. It's been probably 10 years that I've been really struggling with my weight. And so, 10 weeks ago, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I had nothing nice to say to myself. Liz and I like to use the term, I wanted to lay in the road. That's what I wanted to do. I was over it. And I don't know about you, but if you're craving anything, whether it's food or any other kinds of cravings or compulsive behaviors, you you don't have any control over it, and you you have the conversation with yourself a million times. Like, I am so over this. I'm done. Tomorrow I am starting that diet, or I am cutting out that thing for good. I am so done with this. This is never happening again. And you wake up the next day and do the same things over and over again. So that was me 10 weeks ago. I was constantly fighting with myself, with my body, lugging myself around, all of that stuff. So I, once again, for the millionth time, said I am going on my elimination diet. So an elimination diet, if you don't know, is not just for weight loss. It's actually for inflammation, getting down your inflammation, and resetting your health and figuring out what you're related to, what you're allergic to. So I'm like, I'm starting my elimination diet tomorrow. I am not going to deal with this anymore. And so I started my elimination diet, and it went really well for 2 days. And just like clockwork, as if it's on the calendar, the third day I was having a hard time. I had made it through most of the day, but my husband was out of town. I was laying in bed, and I started to feel this craving, and it was so strong. So for those of you who know what this kind of craving it was like, it was 9:30 at night. I was alone. I was going to get in my car and drive to Crumble Cookie, 30 minutes away, to go get like 4 cookies and and eat them all, and it would make me feel in bed, and it would make me feel better for about 30 minutes, and then I would feel like crap. But it started this war, and I was really fighting it. I was like, you do this every time. You can't do it this time. You do this every time. But I really want those cookies. I've only lost 3 days. It'll be fine. Like, I'll just start over tomorrow. Which I've said a million times, but you do this every time, and you can't handle this anymore. Like, your hormones are crazy. You're going to feel bad, but I really, really want it. It's fine. I mean, really, it was like 2 people fighting inside of me. And so I suffered for, I don't know, probably 15 minutes about it, maybe a little bit longer, really fighting myself. And I decided I wasn't going to suffer anymore. And I was like, oh yeah, I have Cognomovement, duh, which a lot of us do a lot of the time. And so I picked up my ball and I did a craving session. And I told myself, I'm going to do this craving session. If I want the cookies still, then I'll go get them. If I still want them, I'll go get them. So I do my session. It was probably about 5 to 10 minutes. This session wasn't very long. And I got through with it, and I put the ball down. I got back in bed, and I went to sleep. And it was like I completely forgot I was craving anything. I completely forgot that I had this crazy, super powerful feeling inside my body just 10 minutes ago, where I was getting in my car. I was going to drive somewhere in the middle of the night to go get cookies. Like, I forgot. I went to bed. And the next morning, I continued with my diet, but it was different. I didn't have cravings anymore. It took one session. And after that, I did not crave not just the cookies, but anything. I started to fast naturally. my body started to just not be hungry. And then when it was, I ate a little bit and then I went back to what I was doing. I wasn't any longer going to the fridge to look for something to eat, to look for something to snack on. And I'm a snacker and I love sweets. And I things sounded good to me. Like for a while I was like, oh, I wish I could just get Taco Bell. Like it's so easy. Like I could just go through the drive-thru and get Taco Bell and eat in bed. But it was not this crazy craving where I had to impulsively just get in my car and go buy something and eat the whole bag of whatever it was. And so this one craving session, here I am 10 weeks later, and I want to point out that I have never made it past 1 week of a diet. Not once ever made it past 1 week. Usually not even 5 days. A lot of times not even 3 days. And it's been 2.5 months. I have not had one cheat day. I haven't had one day where I was like, I just really need a donut, which has happened a lot to me. And it was like, oh, like I'm not really hungry, so I'll just wait to eat until my body tells me. I'm so much more in tune with my body. I feel so much lighter. The other day I was just running around with my dogs, like in the yard. I was running away from them and they, chased me and we play outside. And like I could do maybe one pass, like across maybe half of my yard before. And when I was running with them, I was like, oh my God, like I'm so much lighter. Like this is so weird. And I could run and not be out of breath. I feel happier. I am thinking so much clearer. And I was able to do that with one Cogno movement session. Now, I have done Cogno movement sessions after that, but it's never been about cravings. And what it made me realize was those cravings where I felt so, so strong, it wasn't about the food actually, it was stress. I was so massively overwhelmed and stressed, and that came up as cravings. So I would go to the fridge and look for something to eat. If I stopped working and I was sitting down for the night, I was like starting to feel bad that I was being unproductive, even though I just worked all day. And so I would go find something to snack on all the way up until I laid my head down to go to sleep. I didn't even give my body a chance to digest before I laid down in bed before. So this has been an amazing 2.5 months. I have lost 32 pounds altogether. I lost the first 15 in the first 2 weeks, and I lost 32 pounds so far. I'm more active. It's easier to be active. So yeah, I mean, hopefully I didn't ramble too much, but that's my story. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I know we're going to talk about it a little bit more and some other people's stories as well.
So you talked about, that the craving wasn't necessarily a craving for food. There was a deeper meaning, right?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have the craving for sweets. It wasn't just that I was addicted to sugar or that I was addicted to carbs or anything like that. I was literally so massively stressed that I was like in fight or flight. I I was looking for something, anything to make me feel better for even just a little bit and to calm my nervous system down.
So why do you think that you've been so successful this time? What do you think? I know you did the craving session. What do you think has really changed?
I mean, I 100% credit it to Cognomovement because while the elimination diet does make you lose weight, I have done other diets before and lost nothing. I have done fasting before and lost nothing. In fact, I've gained weight. And this time, that getting rid of those cravings actually allowed me to see what the real problem was. And it really was it really was the stress. And so I'm able to actually pinpoint like the issues that are making me want to eat or making me not want to get up and go do something physical or anything like that. Anytime I really now feel uncomfortable or there's a problem, I can actually pick up my ball and I know exactly what the problem is now. Before it was like, I'm just craving food. I just want food. Like, I just want sugar. Like, now it's like, oh, I'm like super stressed out, or I'm really feeling unproductive, even though I worked 10 hours or whatever. And now I can do a session with myself and be like, oh, okay, like, this is the actual problem and get rid of it now. So all of the layers are being unwound. So really what's different is not just that I'm able to do this diet and I'm really not even looking forward to uh, doing something else. I'm just like planning on doing this from now on. Like, and when something comes up, like I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks and there's going to be a couple yummy things I want to try, like it's because I want to try them and they're yummy, not because I'm like stressed out and I'm going to eat an entire thing of dessert.
Yeah, I think that's the real difference is, the overwhelming driver to do something really that is not good for you or that you don't want to do. And I typed in the chat that argument you had with yourself over the cookies. It's like arguing with your logical mind is like arguing with a terrorist or a toddler. Like you just get nowhere. And so in that moment, you knew there was CognoCravings. Obviously, you helped produce it. But
Mm-hmm.
had you never used it in that moment before? Had you never stopped and actually said, okay, this is an overwhelming driver. I need to make change? Like, I guess what I'm asking is what caused you to do it in that moment?
Um, I think one was like desperation in a way. Like, you know how when you're struggling with something and like the answer's right here, but you're like, I'd actually rather just be mad about it and cry for a little bit. Like, or I'd rather just complain about it and not actually do anything about it, or not even that. Like, it's just logically, I tried everything else. Like, I tried everything else. Doctors and blood tests um and other diets and exercise programs and a lot of things I did try and homeopathics and supplements and teas and some things worked for a little bit, but they never stuck. And um, a lot of things I tried, but a lot of things I tried for 2 days and then said it didn't work. Like I was upset that I wasn't losing 36 to 50 pounds in a week. So there was that. But I think I tried everything else and we do so much cognitive movement all the time. I think it just wasn't like top of my mind that I could do a craving set. And on this day that I had these cravings, I was so desperate to not break this diet. And I was like, oh yeah, like I actually have an answer. And I'm feeling it so strongly right now that I could really use this. Like, so I think for me, a lot of times if I'm like, oh, I'm having that problem, but it's not a problem right now, it's harder for me to do a session. If I'm really feeling it right then, it's the best time for me to do it because I'm really, really feeling it and I'm really having a hard time.
Yeah, so the craving set it's different than other Cogno movement sessions. Because in Cogno movement, you feel what you feel. You let yourself feel whatever it is. And with the craving set, you're allowing yourself to specifically love that thing that you're craving, want it as much as you want it. In that moment, it's like your body is having the experience of it. So it's a very specific set that it works for things that are a really strong driver called cravings. So Lee, bring Bill on for a second. There was something else you and I were talking about today, Bill, that also creates this strong driver, but isn't exactly food. Do you remember what we were talking about?
Yeah, hopefully, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay. You know, we were talking about alcohol, that I recall, uh, a different scenario for myself. I used to be under a tremendous amount of stress, and I'd work very hard, all week, and I remember Friday would come around and I'd be like, looking forward to having some drinks, and, I just wanted, I remember sitting down, like I want the lights to be dim, at a restaurant where a restaurant's quiet, good food, dim lights, stiff drinks. I just wanted to calm down. And anyway, uh that's that was kind of the motivation, behind it. Not understanding, anything about anything really, just that I was stressed. But this is interesting. This is super interesting because I think, you know, that many of us do this. Many of us, like, I'm pretty stressed out, had a hard day, you deserve a beer, or there are other things, well, that really drive us and that we have no idea. Uh, there was a session in Germany, and we had an interpreter, we had a practitioner in Germany, and he interpreted German to English as we worked through this woman who could not help it but was voraciously consuming French fries and mayonnaise. So over there, it's mayonnaise with your fries. In the United States we don't do that, but anyway, this woman, like, I don't want to do this. And she was definitely suffering with weight issues, but she couldn't help it. And the really interesting thing is, when we did the session on it, you wouldn't it came up. The truth was that she was stressed, but she wanted to feel kind of safety, and um, to feel like real connection that was really lacking. Turns out, when she was a little girl, her and her father would go to the Baltic Sea, and she would get French fries and mayonnaise. And so that feeling of, like, I'm safe, I'm with my dad, everything's okay, you know, that was trying to get to that through food. And you know what? For all of us, it works. All of us have got one of those French fries and mayonnaise. It's just fill in a blank. For me, I used to love. Anybody know about ding dongs? That back in the day, Hostess ding dongs. Things are one of the God's best creations on earth. When I got here, you know, I thought heaven was ding dongs. There would be unlimited ding dongs. Anyway, it's something very much we all do. And the interesting thing is even recognizing it. You could know it, but really, you still feel it. No matter if I know it about a chocolate chip cookie, I still feel it. I still want that chocolate chip cookie. So anyway, congratulations to Leah. It's just such an awesome story, and it's overall well-being. It's just so great. Couldn't be
Yeah,
happier for you,
it,
Leah.
it really is. And because we know her so well, we can tell that it's made a lot of difference. That people say, oh, if you lose weight, it's not going to change who you are. It's just not true. It changes everything about who you are when you feel like you have control over your life. And not having control over your body is one of those things that is so depressing, so frustrating. And in fact, that's one of the biggest things that having cravings that lead to health problems causes is depression. There's so much fear and anxiety about not being able to get back control. Bill and I were present once for a session. It was practitioner training in which one of the attendees said that she wanted to stop smoking pot, which we don't think about it, but it's a craving, right? And this particular craving was associated with having been hit on the head. I think it was a surfboard, and then criticism from her mother, which she didn't realize until she was doing the craving set. But the issue when it left her body, which doesn't always happen, by the way, you guys, this was a unique situation, but it was a massive, massive release. She didn't even realize that this push, and I want you guys to think about that push that happens when you're craving something, you want it so much. There's a driver literally in your body, like an automation that's leading you to doing it. That driver was creating so much stress and so much pain in her life. Something to think about. So alcohol is a good one, but pot's another big one. In my office, I've seen so many women, especially, who are saying, like, you know, since pot was legalized, they use it like alcohol, and they're thinking about it the whole day until they can get home and have that relief. They're just looking for relief. But then it, you know, creates other things. Well, there's the munchies for one, which can be, you know, not great for your health because you don't choose the best things, but also, you know, brain fog and sleep issues and stuff like that. So yeah, actually somebody said about binge watching TV shows. Yeah, that's a big one. You know, getting in front of the TV, turning on that TV and just sitting there. And the truth is, like, all of these things, they feel great. You get this big relief in the moment, and then you feel worse, right, Leah? Isn't that the issue? Like that going through with the craving felt good for about a few minutes, and then you would feel much, much worse.
Yeah, I mean that was it. Like I would feel better for a little bit, and I mean it was like I would feel better for the amount of time that I was eating, and then as soon as I was done, I would feel terrible. And I also overate because it wasn't just, I don't know, it wasn't just eating that one thing that I was craving. Once I started to feel terrible again, I would just pick something else or eat more of that thing if there was more. So it just was like a never-ending cycle. And one thing about having a ton of weight on your body, having a lot more weight on your body, is that being overweight or having more weight on your body, it starts to cause the exhaustion and depression and anxiety that I was talking about. So it causes all those things, but it also makes you gain weight because it makes it worse. So anxiety and depression and exhaustion can cause you to gain weight. And then the weight that you gain also causes those things and makes it worse. And it's this like never ending cycle. And then you end up 5'3" and 209 pounds. So, and growing. And so just being able to get rid of that horrible craving made my life completely different. And I did do Cognomovement sessions after that, but I never had to go back and do a craving session. I have not craved anything. And like I said, things sound good, but I don't have that war within myself to be like, well, I've done it for 2.5 months. I can go back. And I don't even have fear of going back either. And so I see a lot of people in the comments saying like all of their reasons. And I had all the reasons, like, you know, I'll start tomorrow, or I feel so sad today. Like, I'll just start tomorrow because I just want to feel better today. Or I have a cold, so it would probably be better if I didn't diet today. Like, I mean, every single reason in the world. And then also the reasons that you don't know about, you know, who are you going to be if you don't have that problem anymore? Who will you be if you're not? For me, who will I be if I'm not the fat friend anymore? Who will I be if I can't say like, oh, well, you know, I'm the fat friend, you know, or like whatever. It's all of these things, these rules that you make up in your own mind about how life is. And when you get to a point where you don't want to struggle with it anymore, and you're feeling so strongly, it's so easy to pick up the ball and do that session. And if you let yourself do it for 5 or 10 minutes, if you're craving that thing, you can always have the thing you're craving after you're done with your session. You can always have that thing when you're done with your session. And the reason that's funny to me, and my one of my favorite things to say is you're not going to want it after your session. So,
Well, okay, so we'll get to actually doing a session here real quick. We're not doing a craving set. We're going to be doing a set that looks at, where our hidden cravings actually causing a problem for you, because that's one of those things we don't realize we're even craving something. You're reaching for something, you're thinking about something, you just have something. Like I worked with a woman once who had a drawer full of candy. Literally, she would go through 5 pounds of chocolate in a week. And when you asked her if she ate sweets, she said, no, I don't understand why I can't lose weight. No. And then realized there was 5 pounds of chocolate. I mean, 5 pounds. And she wasn't even that big. It was amazing, but you don't realize where cravings are causing an issue. But I'll share getting whammied by a craving set really early on. This was years and years ago. We were first figuring out that we could do Cognomovement via Zoom. And I think it was a Cogno Hour. I remember this man so clearly. And at the time Bill was doing this session, I was watching really closely to see if I could see neurological changes with this client. And it was kind of dark and grainy. His picture wasn't very good, but his subject was chocolate chip cookies. Now, for me, I could live without cake the rest of my life, or pie, or ice cream, or candy, none of that, but cookies, I couldn't have them in my house, or I would keep finding a reason to go just take a little piece off and eat it, right? Just a little piece off, just, before the day would be gone, I'd have eaten 4 or 5 cookies, So we're watching this guy and his chocolate chip cookies, and he's just getting to enjoy the crap out of these chocolate chip cookies. And so it was great. He had chocolate chip cookies in the house. He went to eat one and he's like, oh, that doesn't taste good. So about 6 months goes by and I don't have chocolate chip cookies in my house. I know I can't get started, right? So Leah takes me to Crumble Cookie. And she's like, oh my gosh, there's this new place. You got to try these. We go and it smells amazing. And there's these beautiful cookies that are 39 pounds each, huge. I'm like, wow, those look good. They smell amazing. So we get in the car and she said, oh, you want to try one? So I do. And I'm like, this doesn't taste good. She's like, what are you, nuts? These things are amazing. I'm like, tastes a little bit like cardboard with some frosting on it. No, thanks. Put it back. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, this is great. I dodged a bullet here. These are not for me. Fast forward maybe another 3 months. And I made cookies for my son. And I used to make chocolate chip cookies where I hid stuff like garbanzo beans in them and almond flour, so it was healthy. And they're really good. And I didn't even taste the dough, which if you like chocolate chip cookies, you got to taste the dough. And I hadn't tried any of the cookies. So I saw them on the counter, and after a couple of days, I asked my son, are those any good, bud? And he goes, man, those are the best ones you ever made. So I decided to taste one, and it tasted a bit like cardboard with a little chocolate. And then I remembered the session, that watching that session had whammied me, but it extended to other cookies as well. I would still say of sweets, I probably would choose a cookie over anything else, but there is no desire to eat more than a bite of one anymore. Okay, it tastes fine. That's good. There's no driver. And I think that's the point of the Cogno craving set, is that it eliminates that urgency, that driver. And for some of us, it eliminates our even for the thing at all. What's so interesting is that so many people find out that the thing they were craving is the thing they're really, really allergic to. So that when you stop using that thing that you were craving, your inflammation goes, pain goes, certain illnesses start to go, because you're no longer having that allergic reaction anymore. And a lot of people who've had allergy testing will say, oh my gosh, the thing I love the most is the thing I'm allergic to. So, all right, before I get into the session, anything you want to add, Bill McKenna?
I would just say that this this entire craving thing is not just food. It is literally, people have used it for gambling.
Yeah.
People have used it for relationships. I mean, who amongst us has never like started thinking that person, there was people who inadvertently fall in love with the wrong person, and they know it's the wrong person, you know, they're not in a situation where they're available and they're like, I don't want to feel this, and they take care of it. So the thing is, it's very interesting. It's the same mechanism. It's the exact same neurological mechanism that is the driver that you end up taking care of with this. Liz, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, if you've ever had a breakup and you can't stop thinking about that other person, like you're gonna text them in the middle of the night, you're gonna call them or drive by their house, like that's a craving. That is an irrational driver. When you know that that relationship is done or they're no good for you or whatever, and you can't get your mind off of it, it's literally your nervous system has gotten attached to the feeling of that human. It's like going through withdrawals. Our nervous system gets focused or obsessed and bound by a very specific thing that it believes is really good for us. It's doing a good job. But cogno movement in general, cogno cravings reroutes the neural pattern. So somebody asked, can I reverse this and crave exercise? Yeah, you can build in a positive routine, a positive attitude around exercise. It's about, when you don't want to exercise, you feel that resistance, that push. There's something that feels like you're being dragged to a torture chamber. Like maybe that's autobiographical, but there's that feeling that the resistance against. So you can simply just feel that resistance as well. And we call it like love hating it as much as you do, right? And it shifts. A lot of times it just opens the pathway. And for you, Leah, I know you've said this, but I just want to reiterate, it feels like the easiest thing in the world now, right? That's what you've told me anyway.
Yeah, it's not just like I told you earlier that I've watched videos of people who've lost like 120 pounds, like they're healthy now, and they've said like I still love sweets, I still have the craving, I still struggle with it all the time. Or like how many times have you heard somebody who smoked cigarettes or drank and they're like, I miss it, I crave it every day, but I'm making a choice to not have that. For me, I really thought this was going to be so hard, and it was so easy. And it's not really about, I mean, losing the weight is great. It's what I've wanted for a long time, but it's not really, the end goal is not about actually losing the weight. The end goal is about how you feel when you don't have the weight on you anymore. So, like, feeling free, feeling well, feeling happier, and all of the things that I can do now, and how I'm so much more in tune with my own body. I've always wanted to be one of those people that's like, very intuitive about their body, and I actually can do that now, but it's just natural. And one more thing I wanted to say, I was reading Miriam's story about her weight loss, and she realized it's from her Cognomovement sessions. I have done Cognomovement sessions around my weight and my health, but it was always very surface level things. Um, I didn't mean it. I don't know how else to put it, but I didn't mean it. I did sessions around like all my reasons and stuff, but I didn't have a lot of like force behind it, because it was all my reasons. But when it came down to it, the session that I did was from my really powerful craving, and I didn't want that anymore. And so it was so much more powerful of a session because it was like, all right, now is the time. And here's the real reason. Here's the real thing that I'm dealing with right now. And so that's what ultimately made me do it, and have the results that I did. And also, the stress that I don't have anymore has probably also been a really big driver for actually being able to drop the weight so fast.
Awesome. Okay, you guys, you ready to do a little Cogno session and look for where cravings might be the thing, the unseen thing that is keeping you back, keeping you bound from the freedom that you wish. I mean, if you think about it, what Leah is really describing is a form of freedom. And in our offices with our Cogno movement practitioners, they all say the same thing, that what do people want? They want freedom. And being free from being driven to do something or act in a way or take something that you don't want really is, imprisonment. It's binding. So let's look for it. Here's what we're going to do. If you don't have a Cogno ball, grab a pen or something that you can keep your attention on. And for those of you who do, grab your Cogno ball. And we're going to do something really simple. We're going to use our most basic Cogno movement pattern, which is called left, right, low to high, and infinity. But here's your prompt. You're going to let your eyes fall to your body. Keep them open, please. I don't want you to go internal. And connect with your physical body. Excuse me. And notice in the moment that anywhere there's that feeling of being driven, of being pushed, of being pulled, if there's something that you want to accomplish that just seems really out of reach. And we're going to use this to kind of search our bodies, our nervous system, our logical mind, our consciousness for where these things are hiding from us. So as you're connecting with your physical body, just start to ask the question out loud. Where are cravings hiding in my system? And as you ask the question, notice what just happened in your body. There may have been an emotion or there may have been a bit of pain, but some kind of a sensation arose for you. Really put your attention on that. Notice what it is. Have to let your body tell the truth about this. Good. And then just start to move that item or your ball left and right. Very slowly, because we're kind of searching through our systems. Where is craving the hidden reason for, and then insert the problem. And breathe. Where am I being driven, to do something that's not healthy for me or good for reaching my goals? And feel it. This isn't a logical mind exercise. This is a nervous system one. Let your system explore itself. Where am I craving rest or relief or de-stress around this issue? Breathe into it. Good. What am I really reaching for? When I'm reaching for this item, thing, or idea. Breathe and feel into your body. Let your body feel it as much as you do, whatever's there. Just asking the question, where am I being driven towards something that I know really isn't good for me? Good. We're up now about the eyes, left and right. We are moving through your body's own natural system, moving from low to high. Asking again, where are cravings the hidden reason for my health issue, weight, struggle? Breathe and relax your body. This is a relaxing game. We're just sorting through your body. Where are cravings stopping me from having what I want? We're in the ideas and inspiration part of the brain. Eyes up position here. Slow down and really move left and right. Slowly let your eyes move and stretch. Drop your chin. Good. Where is a particular craving or driver limiting me? Let's feel into it. Good. Put the ball in your right hand now, or the item, the pen, and just move it. Really, you're very close to your head now, maybe 6 or 8 inches, and you're going to start to move it down the right side, keeping your head straight and level, and your eyes letting them pull and stretch slow. Ask the question again, where are cravings limiting my freedom? Breathe. Your body might get real active. Just notice what pops up in your mind or in your body. Could cravings, unconscious drivers, be limiting me? Now I've switched hands. You can do the same if you wish. Move slowly. You're noticing where there's real sore spots in your vision. Good. And when you get to the top, just come back down that left side again and breathe, keeping your chin straight and level. Eyes stretching for the ball. Breathe and relax. Where are cravings keeping me prisoner? Binding me. Limiting my freedom. Notice what pops up. Ideas, stories, memories. Moving to the right side now. Really good. When you get to the top, drop the ball and let your head drop and your eyes rest. Kind of shake it off. Pull your shoulders up, let them down. Shaking it off. You're doing really well. Kind of collect up anything that came. Drop your eyes again, and we're going to move the ball. We're just right at belly button level. You can go lower than that. We are in the kinesthetic or physical part of the brain with our eyes in this position. We're going left hemisphere, right hemisphere. We're going to ask the question again. And on this round, it may seem a bit different. So see what's different and what's the same. Where are my cravings, my drivers, unauthorized drivers, keeping me prisoner, restricted, limited? Start to move that ball or the item way farther left and way farther right. Let's get way out into that peripheral vision area. Let your eyes really stretch. Moving up now, we're about heart level. Where are my cravings stopping me from having the life I want? Breathe into it. We're about mouth level now. Breathe. Where's my full potential at the eye level now? Being limited, restricted, frozen by an unconscious driver or craving. You're doing so well. Stay with me. Be sure to relax your body, but let yourself feel whatever you're feeling. Let the stories play out. Let the images come to mind. Let yourself feel. Moving up over the head now. Good. What is limiting me? What's stopping me? Where are there unconscious drivers? Cravings. And breathe. Slow it down a bit when you're up over the head, eyes up, chin down. Good. Put the ball in your right hand and move down that right side again. Breathe. Is it possible that I'm being limited by a craving? Ask that question out loud. Is it possible? Now let's get specific. If so, what craving is it? What is it that's limiting me the most? Unconsciously. Keep moving around the head, making your eyes really stretch. I know it's uncomfortable, but we're looking through the files in your brain, your eyes attached to the files in your brain. And we're searching our most unused files. These are where hidden things hide. Is it possible that I just didn't realize that a craving was limiting me? Breathe. Pull the ball up over the head and drop it down into your lap. Let's see how we're doing for time. All right, one really quick one, left and right, up the body very, very quickly. Let's just finish this off. It's called mapping in anything that we have changed or new realizations, and let the ball drop. All right, take a quick note of anything that came up. You can put it in the chat where you didn't realize you were being limited by a craving. Notice how interesting that was to see a new perspective around things that you didn't even realize were there. All right, while you do that, we're going to invite Leah back. I think she wants to tell you about how you can get the craving set. Are you there, Lee?
I couldn't find the unmute button. Hello, everyone. While you all are writing down your notes, I just want to give you something super powerful to walk away with. So if you're a person who has been struggling with cravings or feeling out of control or stuck in a cycle that's exhausting mentally and physically, you're not alone. Obviously, I've been there too, and there's a lot of us who are walking, talking examples of how this can work for you. I know how frustrating it is to try everything and still feel like your body is working against you. So what we've shared today is about more than just managing cravings. It's about giving you control back, making life easier, and feeling better in your own skin. So I'm going to give you the chance to get everything you need to make this change. Our CognoCravings Bundle, it includes the Essentials Course. It's designed to address the root of your cravings, not just mask them. So for today only, I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. For today only, you can get this whole thing for $100 off. There's no coupon codes, there's no extra steps. You just click the link and it's yours. And the offer is going to last until the end of this call. So definitely act fast. Make sure you put any questions in the comments that we can answer while we're in our last few minutes of this. I know that you've spent time feeling stuck and frustrated and drained by your cravings and your compulsive behavior. So today is the day to make the choice. Today is your day, the same day that I had where I was like, I am so done with this. I am over it, and I'm going to make the choice now, and my life is going to be completely different. If you get Cogno Cravings, your life is going to be completely different. Ask anybody who's done anything with Cogno Movement. If you start now, your life is going to be different, and it can be different starting tomorrow. So do you want to go ahead and answer a couple of questions while we're getting people, giving people the chance to get their bundle, Liz and Bill?
Yeah. First of all, I wanted to let Bill, he popped on. I wanted to see if he had something to add before we moved on.
Oh, he's muted. Hold on. Let me unmute. That's so weird.
Okay. All right. No, I just want to be of service and answer any questions that might come up.
Okay, so Fallon has said something really interesting. She said that, hold on.
While you're looking,
It's here. Oh, go ahead.
Somebody said, is there an offer for those of us who already have the Essentials course? If you go to Essentials and you go down to What's Next, you can click Cravings, and there's a really good price on it there already for you. So you can get it there. Just go to your Essentials course, scroll all the way down to Cravings, and there's a really good deal for you there. Just a reminder, the $100 off deal is going away as soon as this call ends. So make sure you click that link. Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, so the discount, just so you guys who have Essentials, it's built in. So you just find it at the bottom of your Essentials program. But Fallon said, this is really weird. What came up is, no, I'm not being limited by my cravings, but limited by others' cravings for power through me. Weird, but not at all. This is massive. It's a whole nother topic. Maybe we'll talk about it next time, but there are people that crave you, that crave your attention, that crave something through you. And what's interesting is that can be done with the craving set as well. What you do is you focus on that particular interaction, that particular feeling I can see Bill's head bobbing around like, yeah, this is so huge. Particular feeling that it creates. Like you can literally feel people pulling at you for time or money or power, like Fallon said. So other people's cravings, we are all in each other's neurological soup. We are a part of that as well. We don't realize our part in it. And we can cut off our part of it and it'll collapse the whole pattern. So thanks for that comment. That's really, really cool discovery for you.
Life will change for you when you process that. And it's the weirdest thing, when you get done with that, the relationships, like they shift, and the other people, really strange, you'll find that they get highly uncomfortable in the process, but it shifts.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So Colleen said she got Essentials through the Shift Network, and I believe it should be the same for you, Colleen, that it's right there in the bottom of your program, your Essentials program. Just open it up, scroll to What's Next, and you should have that discount there too. So Flor says, hi, Flor. We just spent a week with Flor in San Diego at Cogno Conscious. She says, for me, it's not being able to get what I want was the main driver, not making it financially and my craving for money. Okay, so Tia, one of our amazing practitioners in Australia, we had never thought of doing this before, but it makes perfect sense. She did a craving set around money, about her craving for money. And it's so great because she's so amazing and honest with herself about everything. And she said that it dramatically changed her cash flow. Money flowed in that she did not expect, but she said it freed her because she didn't realize that she had this ongoing driver, you know, that I'm not going to have enough money, so I need more money. For some people, food is that way too. My grandfather, he was a very proud man, and he was had to go live with his brother when he was 16, a growing boy. He was hungry all the time. So as an older man, he had terrible diabetes, but not one day in his life would he ever be without a full counter full of cookies and things that he could have because he'd been so limited when he was younger. So his driver was, I will never be without again, even if it kills me. And it did. So our lack of something can be a massive driver. So for any of you who already have the craving set, try that session on craving for money. It's huge. Yeah, really, really big. Let's see, what else is there? Let's see. Hi guys, still integrating the amazing changes at Cogno Conscious. Yes, Fleur, you did such incredible work. Everybody did. I could see the people that were here. Alice, I was with that Bev. Those changes will go on for months and months. That's a huge event. All right, so we're gonna just wrap up here, you guys. If you had any leftover questions about, how to get this bundle, about getting it if you already have Cogno Essentials, reach out to Leah at info@cognomovement.com. And she'll answer anything. She'll help you. We'll make it really, really easy for you. Any last things, Leah or Bill, before we head out?
Nope, I think that's it. Just last couple minutes before you can before the deal's gone. So make sure you click that link and let us know if you have any questions. I'm an open book, so you can always email me and ask me any questions. And if you have Cognomovement Essentials, so if you buy this course, you get it. You'll also have access to the private members community on Facebook. So if you get stuck with any of your sessions, make sure to ask questions on that members community, because Bill and Liz are there to answer your questions, and our certified practitioners are there as well to answer your questions personally, which is absolutely priceless to have.
Absolutely. Colleen, if you'll reach out to Leah, info@cognomovement.com, just to make sure, I don't exactly know the answer to that. She just needs access through the shift.
Yeah, I let her know. So.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, you guys. I want you to consider this for the next day or so as well. Am I being driven by an unconscious craving that I didn't realize? Look for them in your life. You guys might find this a really fun exploration, and you might be shocked at how many there are and how easy they are to just get the heck out of your way. Thanks for being here on the road with us, Bill McKenna. Thank you so much for your story, Leah, and watch our social medias. There'll be a lot more on this story to come. Talk soon. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.